Hello, welcome to Caring Connections. I'm Sally Gibney. Our show today is the Nursing Connection. Every single one of us, no matter who we are or how old we are, has had the benefit of a wonderful, warm, caring, and loving nursing connection. I'm so happy to have with me today Ron Chiaffi. Hello, Ron.
Hello, Sally.
How are you? And you are from Rutland Area Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
I am.
It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you.
And Laura Van, how are you?
I'm very well, Sally.
Nice
Thank you
to
for
have
having
you
me on
here,
the show.
and I'm really happy to hear all about your wonderful organization. And Kay Manley.
Hi, Sally.
Kay. And Kay, you're with the Friends of Dorset Nursing Association.
I am.
That's wonderful. Would each of you just share a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, I've been at the Rutland Area VNA and Hospice for 33 years.
Wow.
I'm the CEO, and I am a registered nurse, and started off as a dialysis nurse. You and I were having that conversation
Yes,
early,
yeah.
and been around Rutland all my life and just love the Rutland area, and that's why I'm there, and the great work that we do at the VNA.
That's so neat. Tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, I have 2 children,
Uh-huh.
ages 23 and 20, and one of my son is a professional snowboarder.
Wow, that's cool. We'll have to
Check
talk
them out
about
online.
that. That's great. Laura, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I work as the Community Relations Manager for the VNA and Hospice in Rutland. I've been there about 5 years. I have, I guess you'd call it an extensive background in nonprofit management and some other things I've dabbled in way back when. I've lived in Rutland for 30 years. I am not a nurse. But we raised our children in Rutland and love being there. I have 2 children, 6 grandchildren.
Wow.
That
Isn't
I don't
that
see
sad?
often enough. But love the work that I do with RAVNA. It's a fabulous organization, and so gratifying to hear people when I'm out in the community tell us about the good work that we do, not only in Rutland but in the Dorset area as well.
That's great. And Kay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a nurse.
Isn't that amazing?
3 of us.
Worked in the ICU most of my nursing career, then went back to school and did anesthesia and was a nurse anesthetist for 7 years when I came to Dorset. And when I came to Dorset about 6 years ago, I've been too busy to do anything outside of renovation and things, which is what I am doing
And we'll
now.
talk a little bit more about that a little later. Now, Ron, tell us a little bit about RAVNA.
Well, Robin has been around since 1946, and you know, one of the great things about our organization and DNA is the fact that we are governed by a volunteer board of directors. As you know, we're not-for-profit, a 501c3, and we have up to 22 board members, and we actually have 4 board members that are from the Dorset area. When we had our merge, one of the things that we wanted to make sure we put in the bylaws, we had at least 2 members from the Dorset area, and we have 4,
Now,
which is
for
a
our
wonderful
guest,
thing.
I mean, for our audience, just tell them now, Dorset Nursing did merge with you.
Right. About 5 years ago, we were approached by Dorset because the board, what a great group of people, had the vision to say, you know, the world of healthcare is changing, and a little home care agency can't make it. It's very difficult for small organizations to make it. So they approached us, and it was wonderful. It's been a wonderful thing because we were able to enhance the services down here. They provided great services down here, but a larger organization, you know, we had more things to offer, programs that we did that they couldn't afford to do, that we brought down into this community, from, you know, hospice to travel health, to private duty our Care Plus program, more community health programs. So it's been a wonderful experience working with this. Now the Friends of Dorset just absolutely love those people. They are so supportive of their little VNA, and it's been wonderful. So we're looking forward to our big event that you're going to hear about that's coming up.
Which is really wonderful. Now, how many, your hospices, tell us a little bit about the hospice.
Well, overall, I'll tell you about the organization overall. We do over 86,000 visits, and in the Dorset, Paulet, Rupert area, in the DNA area, we do over 2,000 visits, and we saw over 120 patients.
Wow.
And we're, you know,
That's
we have
in
about
1 year.
Yeah, in 1 year. And people don't realize how big we are, but we're about a $12 million budget, and we have over 250 employees among us. So, you know, we do lots of great things and great programs for the community, and hospice is one of those programs that has been very rewarding and is growing, and Laura will probably start a little bit of talk a little bit about
and also
start the conversation.
there's a program for seniors too, isn't there? we're seniors staying in their home, helping to keep seniors in their home.
That would probably be our Care Plus program that you may be talking about, which primarily focuses on non-medical care, because what we found, and VNAs across the country have found, and no surprise, I'm sure, is that we're aging, right? We're living longer, and we're healthier. But the aging process means that we may be a little frailer, that we want some additional help, although we may not need, say, skilled nursing care or any kind of physical therapy. We just need some assistance to be able to stay safe and independent at home.
Right.
So our Care Plus program provides that kind of assistance, different than your traditional home care. So it may include helping with transportation or meal preparation or going into your home and tidying up for someone, just doing those things that have become difficult for people as they age, because people do want to stay in their home and age, surrounded by familiar things, their pets, and that's where they want to be. And so our program of Care Plus helps them do just that.
Which is great, and because we are all aging, I mean, it's happening.
Hard to believe, but we are.
I know. I mean, we don't feel that way, but it's
when
true.
When did this happen?
When we exactly. How did this happen? I keep saying that to myself all the time. But see, this is another area that I think people aren't aware of. That this kind of assistance is available.
Yeah, that there's a place that they can reach out to, because the visiting nurse associations have been around for, in the case of Dorset Nursing, 45 years.
Yeah.
In the case of Ravna, it's been over 65 years.
Wow.
There are some in Vermont who are as old as 100 years, and they know that nurses come into the home, physical therapists come into the home, you're coming out of the hospital to recover, you're sick.
Yeah.
But what about those people who truly aren't sick? They just need that extra pair of hands to help them stay independent.
Yeah.
And in that program, they don't have to worry about Medicare eligibility or making sure that, they qualify for the Medicare benefit. It's, we have much more leeway in that kind of program, where if you need us for whatever you need us for, we're here to help. So, my challenge is to let people know about these services, because people don't think about it until they need it, right,
Exactly.
Sally?
Well, that's exactly. We never even think about our benefits until we need it, and then we start,
we're scrambling.
And it's really hard. Okay, tell us a little bit about Dorset Nursing. They've been in existence now since
1966.
Right.
1966, serving Dorset, Rupert, and Paulet areas.
And their first office,
was the Dorset School.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really, when I read that, I thought, this is pretty cool. Yeah. Now, there's a big evening coming for Dorset Nursing Association. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yes. When I first came to Dorset in 2006, I bought the old Svetlova Dance Center, which was owned by Marina Svetlova, who was a New York City ballerina. For 30 years, she had a dance center in Dorset.
Wow.
And 40, 50, 60 girls in the summertime would come, and they'd have dance lessons, ballet specifically, but jazz, all kinds of dance lessons. Her friend Theo taught piano, and she had this big estate that is surrounded by the Dorset Field Club.
And you'd never know it was even there.
No, you can't. You can't see it. You can tee off from the 16th and see it, but and I can hear them pinging. But it's a beautiful spot, and she was there for 30 years. It was sold, and for 10 years, 12 years before I bought it, and nobody lived there. So when I bought it, I myself renovated it and did the demolition down to the studs. I stripped the entire inside down to the studs. And the bones of the house are fabulous, so it was really well built, but the inside all needed to be redone, and I stripped it down to the studs. And then two guys that work with me, Brian Bowen and his cousin Sean, we started putting it back together, and we've been doing that for 3.5, 4 years almost now.
Now, the benefit is?
The benefit is for, it's the big fundraising gala for the Dorset Nursing Association.
And the name of it is?
Dance the Night Away.
Dance the Night. Isn't that neat? We're all going to do that, right? And it's going to be
September 29th, 6 o'clock. I am rushing, trying to get all the work finished. We will be ready. We're going to have tables for dinner. It's going to be dinner, dancing, cocktails before. We're going to have tables in the studio as well as in the big house. So there'll also be a tour. I'll show people through the house. People really are interested to see what's happened.
Well, I think it's very, very exciting, and I think it's wonderful that you donated this venue.
Well, I've
for
always,
visiting nurse.
since the beginning, I had always hoped to be able to incorporate the opening of the house with something that would benefit the community. And so this just happened to be.
And it's such a wonderful, wonderful event, because benefiting Dorset Nursing is benefiting all of us. And all of you are participating in this, and it's really neat. Now, could you share with us a little bit about what you've done with the house? Because I find it so exciting and interesting.
Well, you see it all the time, too. It's
how you started and what you did.
Like I say, I demoed it completely, and then we started putting it back together. The first time I saw it, it was a snowy day in December, and it was freezing cold. I spent 2 hours going through it, and it was never locked.
Did
and
it speak to you?
It spoke to me big time.
I just want to share with our audience, as you're speaking, we're going to have pictures of what you're telling us about. So.
Yes, I've got some photographs of the first day I saw it, the demoing process, so you can see what it looked like before, what it looked like in transition, and then pictures as recently as this morning, so that you can see where it is now.
Yeah, but you have done so much of this yourself.
Yes.
Share a little bit.
I do a lot of the floor work. You'll see a concrete floor, concrete slab floor,
made
20 by 20 by an inch.
All of the slabs herself.
And there's some pictures of the floor you'll see. You'll see me doing the first set of 8 of them pouring the concrete in my house where I live on Route 30.
So you just weren't a nurse, I guess. You have a little contract.
I've always done that for some reason. Every place I've ever been, my dad says, "Why don't you just buy a house that you like?"
Yeah.
I buy it and then they tear it apart.
Now, would you share with us about the beam that you found, the post that was in there?
Oh, I was taking out the upstairs rooms that were above the kitchen, so we could have the high vaulted ceilings that you'll see in the photographs. And I popped up a shelf. Throughout all the demo, I'd seen the blue pencil marks from the lumber yard with Harold Duran's name, who was the owner, and Jack Smith, who was the builder. But I popped this board up and really didn't pay too much attention until I was right close to it, and right in the center of it, in a circle about this big, it said F period, K period, Manly, 1916. And it was my great-grandfather's half-brother. My family was one of the 5 founding families in Dorset. My great-great-great-great-grandfather, Deacon John Manley, built the early part of the McDonough's house where the marble quarry is on Route 30 that you see. And so I ran home to my genealogy chart to find out who F period, K period was, and it's Frederick Kent Manley was my great-grandfather's half-brother.
That is so
And my
neat.
great-grandfather was
So you
born
had
in
no
Dorset.
clue, did you have any clue that
No.
your family was so involved with Dorset before you did this?
Oh yeah, I knew that my family was involved with Dorset, and a lot of number of the houses in Dorset were Manley houses. The current library that was the Gray's Tavern is a Manley house, but I had no idea that anybody was involved in that house. That
So
came as a complete
it's
surprise.
really neat that your house will now be the venue for this wonderful, wonderful benefit.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Very excited about.
And I have a question to Case, and she's the one doing the work and has that nursing background. I mean, you know, there's dancing involved, so I'm hoping that the floor is going to support it. You know, a heavy guy like me, you know, when I start
The dance
the rug.
studio, there's a 35-foot-long dance studio that Marina had put in. The ballet bars are still in. We're going to leave those up. And the floor is a sprung floor, what they call a sprung floor for dancing. It makes it gives so that with the knees. And so you're fine.
I know.
I may ask you to pirouette.
I was going to say, a good way to raise funds is to see if Ron can get his leg up on that bar.
Oh, now that would be cool.
Okay.
Because he
all
does
right.
have some dance experience.
Do you?
Good.
Yes, he does.
no.
Yeah.
Well, what Laura's referring to is Dancing with the Stars. I had to learn the tango, and one of the things was, you know, with the beams you're talking, whatever that term is for the dance bars, getting my leg up to a certain point.
What do you mean Dancing with the Stars?
Well, we had a fundraising event that started last year called Dancing with the Stars that we did in Rutland, and I was one of the stars that had to learn dance based on the TV show, and it's happening again this year in the fall. But it was a fundraiser. It was great.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, it's something that maybe Laura can get the chair of that committee to come and talk about. But it's after this big event we have coming up. So anyway, that's another thing. But
I know, but isn't that fun?
Can I just ask, when you saw that, was it FK?
K period.
Manly. Were you able to keep that exposed? Or did you cover it back?
I have it.
You just took it out.
It was a shelf, and I just popped it up. I was demoing everything that came out, and I have it still. Oh, absolutely.
I can't imagine being alone probably in the house, working in the house, and discovering this and wanting to share it.
Yeah, it was really exciting.
Which is really, really amazing. And to see it, and when you all see it, it's just really an amazing project of love.
Really. It has been.
And that's basically one of the things that I wanted to share is the love and the caring that's involved with all of what you're doing. And I'm sure you see this in your staff, you know, your wonderful staff. How many staff members do you have?
We have about 250 people, and you know, you mentioning that just makes me think of something that I think the audience should know that we're very proud of, is that our organization, you know, DNA and Ravna, the whole organization, has been honored the last 5 out of 6 years for what's called this Home Care Elite.
Wow.
And there's this independent company that looks at the outcomes for your patient, financial indicators, quality measures, and they put a score together. And this is done for over 10,000 home care agencies across the country.
Wow.
And we have gotten this Home Care Elite the top 25%. And last year we were in the top 500 of over 10,000 home care agencies in these quality indicators.
Wow.
So those are done by an independent company that just says something to the quality of care that our staff give. And anybody who's had the services down in this neck of the woods, they really appreciate the work that our staff do. They're very dedicated, very talented, and they have to deal with very difficult situations.
Absolutely, and also the distance, the travel, which I think is something that isn't considered. You know, and I was a nurse case manager for many years, and I was coordinating services for patients, and that factor is huge. You know, having staff that can get out there and get around and get, you know.
Well, you know, there's such an intimate connection between a home care nurse and a patient. Different than in a hospital setting.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're always hearing, I'm very fortunate to be able to sit in a position where I'm getting so many letters from patients or family members just applauding the care of the nurses or our aides, the people who go in there and do all those extra duties, you know, other than just taking care of the patient's medical needs. And you don't get that kind of one-on-one care in really any other setting. And you know, especially in our hospice program, the compassion and professionalism of our hospice nurses, and we provide hospice services in the Manchester, Dorset, Pollitt, Rupert areas, as well as Rutland. It's just outstanding.
Well, you know, both my mother and my brother, who recently passed away, were hospice patients. And, you know, it's so different when you're, I mean, as a nurse, I was a hospice nurse, so, but when you're the recipient of the care and the support and the love, it's absolutely amazing. I think that I mean, as the caregiver, you don't realize what you are giving and how important it is.
And you know, I think also what's important for your viewers to know and understand is the fact that the Friends of DNA and having this fundraiser, the money is used to subsidize all the money-losing programs that we have. Unfortunately, about 35% of our business is reimbursed by the state, and every program we have with the state, we lose money in. So, you know, down the road, you know, there's shrinking reimbursements. We all know there's a lot of unknowns out there with health care reform and what directions it's going to go. And everybody knows there's less money, and they expect you to provide the same level of care. So this fundraising event, you know, that money is used for these programs that, you know, our board of directors is going to have to make some decisions down the road. Can we continue to offer the level of services that we currently offer? You know,
and of course you want to, because this is who you are.
Well, and you know, and that's a beautiful thing about a not-for-profit VNA and having a board of directors from the community, because they actually have a heart. You know, it's not just looking at dollars and cents.
Right.
I mean, if I wanted to look very good to our board of directors, I can look at the programs that lose money and say, cut them, cut them, cut them.
Yeah.
If I was a for-profit organization in another state, I would do that. The for-profit companies don't offer the programs that we offer. So I just want to emphasize this fundraising event coming up, that everybody out there, get your tickets. It helps to support the services we provide in this neck of the woods, and our organization. We do great things for people, and Kay and the friends at Dorset do a marvelous job down here. Every event they have is a huge success.
It's a real
they are.
family.
Oh,
you know,
truly
that's
they
what
are.
it is, and I think that's the beauty of the whole thing, is that this is a family. And you know, I was saying with my husband, because as I said, with my background in case management, and I said to him, you know, now there's cutting where it doesn't have anything to do with the amount of time you spend on a visit. You just get paid for a visit. You know, so people don't realize what goes into it and how important it is. And so in any way that we can support your organization.
And I think you hit on something earlier that, you know, unfortunately you reminded us all that we are aging. And I use this line with legislators, that sooner or later everybody's coming to us for our services. So,
absolutely.
you know, I look at what we're doing as setting up the services to take care of us. For me, I want those services there, and I think the Friends of Dorset look at it that way too. You know, we want these services here in the community for people. So
absolutely,
we want everybody behind it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
you know,
can't wait to have the dance on that dance floor.
Me too. Will you dance with me?
Yes.
Oh, an invitation already. I think that what strikes me as just a consumer, not somebody who works for a visiting nurse association, is the cost efficiency of home care. It's the most cost-effective means of healthcare delivery. And that in itself is a reason to support what we do and hope that our legislators see the value of what we do and the people who are making those financial decisions.
Yeah.
And the fact that now patients are going home so much sooner than they used to. They don't stay in the hospital any length of time anymore.
Absolutely.
They have what they need to have done, and then the minute
then
they're
they're
able
home.
to
and
leave,
if they don't get, and this is what
they
this
need
was
to be followed at home.
Absolutely. This was my biggest argument when I did case management, was that if we don't take care of them when they get home, they're going to be right back in the hospital.
Exactly.
And that's going to cost so much more money. So not to mention the personal piece. That's so important, you know, for a person to be at home and to feel comfortable and safe at home, and for their family members, because it's so what you all offer is so huge. It's so huge, and it's so important.
And that's why it's so important to have, you know, local members of the community like Kay and Susan Romano, Peg Gregory, the Friends of DNA. There are so many of them that have so much enthusiasm. I've had the opportunity to work just this year primarily with them. And the dedication and the enthusiasm and the positive attitude, that's what makes them so successful in what they do.
Absolutely.
And I know that this event is just going to be
Huge.
the best
It's going to be
event
so
ever.
much fun. And, well, I think we're getting down to the wire here. Is there anything else you want to share, Ron, about, how do you pronounce the initials?
Oh,
No, I mean, I just want to thank the community for their support, and for Kay and the Friends of Dorset for all that they do. They do a marvelous job at supporting the programs that we offer, and we want to be there for the community. We have been. The merger was a wonderful thing. I think everybody's happy. It's been invisible, and we've
Well, you've
kept that
allowed
local
Dorset
identity.
Nursing, I mean, you've enabled Dorset Nursing Association to stay alive.
Right.
Because without coming together, it wouldn't happen.
Right. It was a win-win. It was a
Yeah.
win-win, you know, merger, and it's been wonderful working with all these people, and I just love every single one of them, and I'm looking forward to this event on the 29th.
But isn't it fun to have, you know, no conflict, just to have, you know, to come together, to look at what we can give to each other, and that's what it's about. That's what it's
That's
about.
the caring connection.
That's the caring connection. That's absolutely right. Laura, do you have any last-minute things that you
no,
want
I
to
guess I would
share?
reiterate what Ron said, you know, to thank all the volunteers from Dorset Nursing. They're wonderful to work with. You know, they do so much for the community, for Dorset Nursing, and support our efforts to provide services in the area. I don't know what we'd do without them.
Okay. Do you have any final words, just to invite everyone to join us?
Come see my house and dance the night away.
Yeah, I love it. I love the name. And, the band,
Lee Romano's band.
which is the, what is it?
I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Oh, my goodness.
I know
isn't
they've
it?
been rocking the North Shire for 25
Absolutely.
years.
They're absolutely Dance the Night Away.
It escapes me, the name right
Don't
now.
go home.
Don't go home. Don't leave.
Don't leave.
Don't leave.
Don't
Don't leave
leave.
home.
Don't leave home.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't leave or something.
Yeah.
But come.
But they're
Come.
wonderful. So come and
We
don't
didn't leave
leave.
last year. We were there for every dance, from bitter end, and we will be there again.
And we will be there, too. I want to thank you all so much for being here. This has been really fun. And
Thanks, Sally.
we're looking so forward to the night. dancing the night away. And for all of you out there, do join us. We're going to have the phone numbers where you can call for information and also call for tickets. And until next time, keep on making those caring connections, and don't forget that you matter. And you know what? As the schools are starting to open, before your kids go out to school, give them a hug and tell them they matter. It's a great way to start the day. Till next time, bye-bye.